This woman keeps cutting apples, but all she wants are the apple seeds. She's doing this just to get justice for her daughter. Her daughter was bullied by several people and cruelly abandoned by the roadside. But in the end, at court, those people were acquitted. This mother became furious. She decided to seek justice for her daughter in her own way. This mother is a biology teacher, and her daughter is also her student. However, she is a stepmother. The daughter has never accepted her. Even at home, she only calls her teacher instead of mom. One day in class, a male student sent her daughter an inappropriate video. When the mother found out, she asked the boy to hand over his phone, then without a word, threw it out the window and told him to call his parents. The boy was very angry, suppressing his rage with nowhere to vent. A few days later, against her mother's wishes, the girl went partying at a bar with friends. She put on makeup and wore a beautiful dress, standing out brilliantly in the crowd. Coincidentally, the boy whose phone was thrown was also at the bar, looking at the teacher's daughter, who was beautiful as a flower. Evil thoughts arose in his mind. He had planned to win the girl over, but was coldly rejected by her. The boy felt defeated. So, having lost face, he had even more malicious thoughts. At this time, the girl's mother called asking her to come home. She told her mother she'd be home in 40 minutes, then planned to take a taxi home. Just then, that boy and his friends appeared. They forced the girl into a car. Then they abused her. They thought she had stopped breathing, so they dumped her by the roadside. Meanwhile, when her daughter didn't return home, the mother went out to search. After finding nothing, she went to the police station to report. But the police thought since it was Valentine's Day, the girl was probably just having fun, so they didn't respond to the case. Until the next day, a passerby found the girl and took her to the hospital. When the mother arrived, seeing her daughter covered in wounds from torture, she broke down in tears. Fortunately, the girl survived. She recorded her testimony. The police quickly arrested all suspects. After 38 days of evidence collection, the result was that the suspects were released without charges. The reason being lack of evidence. Facing the verdict, the enraged father rushed forward and punched one of the suspects. As a result, the judge arrested the father for contempt of court. People watched the grieving mother. Her husband had been taken away. Her daughter was lying wounded in the hospital, while those who had hurt her family were now embracing their families nearby. Where is justice? She had lost all hope in the judicial system. After the father was released on bail, he found his daughter curled up motionless by the bed. The mother tried to comfort her. She screamed hysterically because she believed everything that happened to her was because her mother had thrown away the boy's phone. The mother's heart was shattered. She returned to school and saw that boy. He looked confident and arrogant, even with a provocative expression. The mother was furious, looking at this unrepentant boy, thinking of her own child. She decided to seek justice for her daughter in her own way. She found a private detective. After gathering all information about the suspects, the path of revenge officially began. The first target was this lecherous security guard. He would drink at a bar every Friday until late night. The woman brought two beautiful friends, lured him into their car, then drugged him unconscious. 3 days later, the security guard woke up next to a sewer. When he went home to use the bathroom, he looked down and discovered his tool of crime had been cut off. The pain and terror made him lose balance. He hit his head on a water pipe and died instantly. When her daughter saw on TV that her attacker had died tragically, she finally willing to open the curtains to feel the long-missed sunlight. Meanwhile, the police mistakenly believed the security guard's death was caused by the girl's father, so they put him under 24-hour surveillance. At the same time, the woman was preparing for her second revenge target. This suspect was a fitness enthusiast who regularly took various health supplements. So the woman, being a biology teacher, cut open lots of apples and collected the seeds, processing them into powder. Because apple seeds contain large amounts of cyanide, just 1.5 grams would be lethal. At night, she sneaked into the suspect's house, mixed apple seed powder into the protein powder. The next day, the suspect only took a small sip before he started convulsing and foaming at the mouth. But whether it was luck or misfortune, he was rushed to the hospital in time. His life was saved, but he became permanently paralyzed. Then the detective hired by the woman infiltrated the hospital and installed listening devices. Meanwhile, the woman secretly went to the student's house. To stage a crime scene, she dumped the remaining apples into the trash, changed the computer time to last night, and searched for information about making cyanide. When she heard through the listening device that the police at the hospital had discovered the man was poisoned by cyanide, she triggered the fire alarm system in the room. When police arrived to put out the fire, they found tools for making cyanide in the room and the search history on the computer. The male student was arrested as the suspect. Later, the woman went to the hospital and confessed everything to the now paralyzed suspect. The woman said, "For what you did to my daughter, I will repay you 10 times, 100 times over. None of you will escape." Now there was only one suspect left. When her daughter saw that among the suspects, 3 had already faced retribution, she began to let go of her trauma. Her father was very happy to see this and decided to take the whole family on vacation. But little did he know that this decision almost led his entire family to face another devastating disaster. The bald man noticed his friend's successive misfortunes and realized something was wrong. He came to the hospital to inquire inquire about his paralyzed friend. The man was groaning intermittently. After a long while, the bald man finally pieced together. All this must have been done by the girl's mother. He decided to take initiative. He went to the girl's house, but learned from neighbors that the girl's family had gone on vacation. On his way home, the bald man unexpectedly discovered someone was following him. It was that private detective. The bald man pretended nothing was wrong. After the detective left, he counterfollowed the detective to his home, just as the detective was dialing the woman's hotel number, intending to report the bald man's situation to her. But before he could speak, he was knocked down by the bald man who had followed him. The bald man grabbed his hand to unlock the phone, then dialed the last number. This time the hotel butler answered the call. Then he found the hotel. Soon the lights in the room went out. The father went downstairs to check the circuit breaker, but found the butler lying on the ground. Then he too was injured and fell. The girl wanted to light a candle, but trembled at the shadow behind her. At this moment, the mother appeared. She told her daughter to run, staying behind to hold off the suspect, but was quickly overpowered by him. The bald man thought the woman had stopped breathing, so he went out to find her daughter. But the woman was actually fine. She struggled to get up, rushed outside to look for her daughter, but was pushed to the ground by the bald man. Then the bald man pulled out his gun. At this critical moment, the police also arrived at the scene. When investigating the detective's cause of death, they discovered a hidden camera in his glasses. Not only did they learn the bald man had harmed the detective, they also found that the first 3 suspects were all framed by this mother. Upon learning this, he rushed over. Seeing the mother about to lose control, the police told her to stay calm. But the mother said desperately, "These things will happen again, and you can't do anything about it." Looking at the desperate mother, and then at the unremorseful suspect, the police officer wavered. He handed his weapon to the woman. He silently approved of her revenge. At this moment, the bald man was truly scared. While begging for mercy, he complained to the police about the woman's revenge against his friends. The daughter, hiding behind the tree, heard everything. She realized how much her mother had done for her. She slowly walked out and called out "Mom" to the woman. That word "Mom" gave the mother enough courage. Thus, a mother's revenge was finally complete. Through her actions, she made her daughter understand where justice cannot reach, there is still a mother. Even as a stepmother, that maternal love is beyond imagination. So never anger a mother.